Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video here on our channel. Today, I am bringing you some new custom tactics as we take a look at a formation which can really help against that dreaded 4-1-2-1-2 narrow that every man and their dog is playing right now, and overall just be defensively sound because of the drop back issue, but also allow you to hit on the counter, right? A lot of players at the minute do have a lot of men behind the ball. So my personal opinion is that if you do have the opportunity to counter, to try and get up against 2 or 3 defenders, we want to look to do that. It does really help us. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And remember, if you want any of your sneak, use code, if I get the front of it, nice. Use code FIFA Analyst at checkout to go ahead and support us. What are we going to be looking at today? It's a formation, which is the bread and butter for me. I think it's actually more prone to be used at the minute because of the changes with the patch. The game is a little bit slower, right? That's something that we can all agree post-patch. You know, it isn't as quick as it once was, even though it wasn't very quick anyway. Because the driven passes get intercepted a little bit more, you do have to be a little bit more methodical in your build-up as and when. And the formation that we're looking at is the 4-2-3-1. It's a formation which I think, to me, is my favourite formation because it offers you everything. It's good defensively. It's good on the counter. I always talk about it. It can play in possession. It can play on the counter attack. It can play as and how you please. Really solid on that front. Now, we're not going 100 depth. We're not going 100 width. I'm going to talk you through each and every one. I will put a timestamp on the screen right next to me here. If you want to just go to the custom tactics and not understand anything and just blindly follow it, you're more than welcome to go to the timestamp there and you can do that. However, I advise you to listen to what I have to say because that's what helps tactics work and make you tweak things if you feel that something is off. So the 4-2-3-1 narrow is what we are looking at today. The defensive style, we do stay unbalanced. Personally, I go on balance because I feel capable enough in my own pressing style to win the ball back high up the pitch. I feel like I can second man press well. I feel like I can cut the passing lane out well. And I feel like I can do that manually. And that then gives me the benefit of the doubt, really, that if I do get something wrong, my team shape is where it needs to be. Whereas if I go on press on possession loss and I don't win that ball, team shape can be a little bit kind of caught out. For you, if you think I'm not a good enough presser myself, I would like to have a pressing capability in this formation. I recommend presser on heavy touch. It's not as aggressive as press on possession loss, but it does a job. Press on possession loss at the minute is being used by a lot of people, in my opinion. I see you in the comment section on YouTube telling me, talking to me about why is my opponents always pressing so well? It's like they're on constant pressure, but they don't drain stamina. It'll be press on possession loss. If you do come up against someone that does this, go to the wings, go over the top and get the ball out your feet that way. Don't try and play it in and through the middle with your defenders, midfielders back towards the opponent's goal. It can be very difficult for you to play out, all right? Let's width. Now, this is a defensive width, remember? Defensive width at the minute. You want to be very mindful of what you have here. I still go for a fairly narrow width, but that's because I'm playing against the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow quite frequently, and I want my right back and left back tucked in a little bit. If you do notice say the gap between your fullbacks and centre backs being caught out, you might have it a little bit too wide, so you might want to bring it in a little bit narrower, but just try and have your team compact. You can see here on the graphic, just above my head, how the centre backs and the fullbacks get closer together, the narrower we go. Now, obviously, if we go really narrow, we do give up all that room in behind on the wing, so you don't want to go too narrow. I'm happy to give up the wings, but I don't want my centre-backs and full-backs spread out like that and leaving a gaping hole through the middle. So 40 width has kind of been what I've been running now for quite a long time. If you are wanting to take your game to the next level on FIFA, come and join the Analyst Academy over on Patreon. You can get one-to-one coaching, bespoke videos, a great community on Discord, along with loads of other perks. Link is in the description for that, should you wish to come and take a look. Now, depth. Depth, there's a thing that happens, right? In this game is that your defenders drop back and track runs when they shouldn't do, regardless of depth. EA tried to fix it when you're on 70 depth and above, and it hasn't fixed it. But when someone has something on chance creation, and we'll talk about that in a minute, it really makes a big difference to what happens to your defenders, essentially. So when you match someone who feels like they're sitting deep, there's something here in his chance creation which actually makes it happen, regardless of their depth. If you want to run a high depth, that's fine. I personally have done. I saw a comment on one of the tactics videos a few weeks back talking about he doesn't like my tactics because I always run a high defensive depth and he's not good enough to do that. He doesn't feel like he can track the runs, he can right stick switch and so on. If you want to run a high press and win the ball back and you want to dominate, run a higher depth. If you don't back your ability, keep a neutral depth. If you really are maybe new to the game and you're not massively confident, run like a 40 depth. Don't go lower than that because you invite so much pressure on. Some of you guys do run like 20 depth. Oh yeah, get more numbers behind the ball, I'll be all right. It may happen at times, but you actually invite loads of pressure. You invite people to come and get onto you, to go for a finesse shot on the edge, and we don't want that. So a fairly neutral balanced depth is probably what I'd recommend, and then the more you back your ability, the higher the depth, the better. 45 is probably what I'd recommend for the majority. If you want to go a little bit higher, maybe try 60. You're more than welcome to. Someone like myself, I'll be running like 65, 70, or sometimes even 80. Really depends on the team that I'm running, my defenders. Have I got fullbacks at centre-back? Have I got the pace? All that sort of stuff. Build-up play. This is actually very different to my previous 4-2-3-1 in what I run, and this is going to be really aggressive to look on the counter if it is available. If you don't have the counter attack there, that's absolutely fine. Don't go for it. Just use normal XA passes, build up slowly. If you do have the counter attack, which you will see quite frequently because of these tactics, we are going to look for it. We're going to go long ball and we're actually going to go direct passing. This is basically just going to cause the opponent's team to just lose shape massively. You are going to see runners and you're going to see the defenders going, oh, I need to track that run. You're going to be able to play it in the middle and have space in the middle. You're going to be able to do absolutely everything. And if you can't get that through ball or you can't get that pass into the middle, just build up slowly. Like, yes, your players will be running away from you. Tap the R1 button if you want to bring one short, the RB on Xbox, and build up in a smart, methodical way. And that's why the 4-2-3-1 is so crucial to do this, because it has that benefit that the players are in the right positions, you've got good numbers, you've got the ability to build up slow, to hit on the counter, to play tick-attacker, use the number 10, that centre attacking mid, and you'll find it reaps the benefits. Now, this is actually the biggest change I've made recently in this 4-2-3-1 narrow, and that is 65 width. It's quite a wide width for the 4-2-3-1 narrow, actually. I never used to be a massive fan of a wide width. I like the narrow to be narrow, hence why it's a 4-2-3-1 narrow. And you might be sat here wondering, why don't we use the 4-2-3-1 wide with a left mid and right mid? That's too wide. They are sat on the touchline. They don't get involved enough. But I actually want these to be in a position where they're a little bit wider to try and get into an area up against the fullbacks and really sit tight on them and kind of go round them or on the inside. It gives you the benefit of both worlds. When you have it too narrow, say 40, they try and run in towards the centre-backs. When you have it a little bit wider, we can get it on the best of both worlds. Why do we do this? Because we are playing against the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow all the time. Width is key against that formation. Now, there is other formations that can combat the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow better, which we'll talk about in different videos. But for now, we want to have that width at 65 against that 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. The opponent will defend in a 4-4-2, but if you can hit on the counter, you can use those wings massively to your advantage. You can get to the byline, you can cut it back in, do as you please. Remember, with the direct passing and the long balls, the team is going to be out of shape. They're going to be sitting deep. They're going to be running back, tracking all those runs, and it's going to give you a massive bit of advantage in between the centre mids and the centre back to make sure you get the ball into that cam when available. Players in box. I'll go 3 here because basically the only people I want in the box, and the way we have it set up, they do that, is the attacking mids and a striker. I don't want my CMs making runs here, mainly because of who I have in the CM on this account, Fofana and Petit. If you have like a Kevin De Bruyne and you want to get him involved, you can up this to 5, maybe even 6. I wouldn't go more than that though, because you will be then open on the counter attack yourself, so just be careful. Corners, obviously the patch changed, which meant that we can't do the corner glitch anymore. I'll go 2. I've tried 3. Too many men in the box. I've tried 1. Not enough men in the box. 2 works. I'm going to be honest, corners I'm not very good with. That's probably my weakest point as a FIFA player. There's plenty of other people out there who will be able to help you more on corners. I cannot do that. Now, instructions. How you want to do this is completely up to you. Goalkeeper and centre-backs, I run balance. I don't change any of them. They are what they come with. Now, the fullbacks. I saw a lot of you talking about the overlap. Overlap does obviously keep your fullbacks on the touchline and give you more width. And yes, it does mean that your centre-backs sometimes can get a little bit wide. So I've been testing out just balanced on that, not changing that. If you are chasing a game, you can also put step up on the defensive position, and that will allow your fullbacks to step up onto their winger and just sit higher up the pitch. It means you get the ball back more often, but does leave you open for that ball in behind. Stay back while attacking is probably what 99% of you are going to run, and that's fine. If you do that, please use them manually. Please bring the fullbacks forward. Use the width. Like, you have to take a risk at times with them. I run balanced because I'm going to be honest, if I've not hit on the counter and I haven't had that counter-attacking opportunity and I have to build up slow, balanced fullbacks to me helps you move the ball around so much easier. They sit on the halfway line into that opponent's kind of attacking half, and you can have them as an option for you. And you can look for that switch ball really easily. I understand the majority of you won't like this because then you've only got 2 centre-backs and the centre defensive mids, and you can get caught on the counter. So you do what you feel is best for you. Because I run them on balance, and because I have 2 very defensive-minded midfielders here, I run stay back while attacking on them both, cut passing lanes, and cover centre. If you have a Kevin De Bruyne, a Draxler, a Jorginho, I don't know, whoever it is, Sanchez, that box-to-box, the advanced playmaker in centre defensive mid, feel free to have one of them on balance. If you have your fullbacks on stay back, definitely have one of your centre mids on balanced, okay? Now, for the left attacking mid, right attacking mid, and cam, completely balanced on the cam. I don't change them. And for the left attacking mid and right attacking mid, get into the box cross. If you want to be more defensive, you can do comeback on defense. But I manually pull these players back anyway. If you don't want to do that and you want them to be sat defensively, comeback on defense will really just create 2 banks of 4 and it'll make it difficult to break down. However, your counter-attacking threat is almost gone then. So these tactics kind of wouldn't work with that. Try it if you want to. It didn't really work for me when I tested it. Get into the box for a cross is purely there to kind of override the players in box here, to have them in the box. Because as I said, I don't want Fofana and Petit in, but I want these 4 attackers in the box. For the striker, getting behind, stay forward. You want a quick striker here, someone that can handle their own. Mbappe, Benzema, Icardi, those sort of players are perfect for this. They can hold their own. They've got pace. They've got the physical stats. They want to hit on the counter. They are the hold-up play that will do that to then get those attacking mids involved. And that is what I think right now is a very good counter to the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. Works really well to it. Allows multiple options, but also gives you some defensive absolute soundness. Makes it very easy for you to play. Make some tweaks should you wish to. If you have any questions, pop them in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help on there. Coming over to the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/FIFA Analyst. Come and say hello. As always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.